Hello everyone. Chapter 5. Biohacker Origins. The first Homo semper were biohackers, said Laura. Many of them are still alive. I'm one. Many of the people behind the Ouroboros Biotechnology Corporation are early, successful biohackers. There were many failures. Many of the early biohackers suffered horrific mutations, organ failures, or other ailments. But there are many successful biohackers out there in Reason's Edge. Many of them have miraculous abilities. Crazy abilities, said Jane. Not supernatural, but still. Abilities that you could have, said James. Rachel nodded. These are all basically new humans, she said. All right, tell me more about them. Laura eased her shoulders into the back of her seat, listening to the leather of her chair creaking softly under her weight. She supped at her coffee pensively. The biohackers of Reason's Edge, Laura started, spent decades reverse engineering human genes, performing highly controversial experiments, often on themselves. We formed companies like this one, Ouroboros, to completely reimagine human beings without the ancient scourges of disease or age. We spent decades reverse engineering the syntax of genetic code in the pursuit of one goal: absolute self-mastery. Now, I'll be honest with you, we're not there yet. The competition is fierce and it's all to play for. My feelings are that, as human beings, it isn't our place to give up on the flesh and hand over this world to cybernetic overlords, the super AI and the androids. There's another possibility, said Jane. Hybrid technology. Chimera got an early start on us, but we've partnered with another company to design cyborgs which combine genetic and cybernetic engineering into a single design philosophy. Total cyborg design, said Rachel. I've heard of it. Who is our cybernetics partner? Eternal Motion, said Laura. You'll be sent to liaise at some point. This is getting ahead of things, but your contact will be Bryant Harrell of the Phoenix Division. He's a cyborg test pilot. He leads a team undergoing organic modification, currently under the supervision of Ethan Blackfriar. What kind of pilot? Asked Rachel. Combat mechs of various sorts, said Laura. Fighting suits, spider tanks, that sort of thing. Neural interfaces to a cyborg pilot. Harold's team knows their hardware, but their human flesh is basic, so they've brought in wetware specialists, as in us. I'm hoping to take over in the coming months, said Jane. I have a lot of ideas ready to go. I see, Rachel nodded. Yes, said Jane, but forget that for now. Rachel, this just means you're going to have your hands full for years to come. Biotechnology is an incredibly exciting field that reveals to us that the flesh is only just beginning to reveal its secrets. Wait, said Rachel. How are you tuning these cyborgs? Later, said Laura. Although, she reconsidered, the Church of Chaos has cyborg members. All right, Jane, give Rachel a little more information, but please try to be brief. Rachel wondered what the Church of Chaos was. Gladly, said Jane, grinning. Our specialty is organics. If we think of what we can change on humans, we could add features from other species, or create new genetics that has never been seen before. In the case of cyborgs, we can tailor a person's genes to better meld with cybernetics, or otherwise adapt them to an exotic environment, add resistances, or grant them new abilities. Think about electric eels, said James. They have the ability to generate and store electricity biochemically, which is obviously useful to a cyborg. They could feed instead of recharging android style, but it would take total cyborg design to integrate such organs into a cyborg. And cyborgs can be more than simply a synergy of organic and cybernetic parts, said Jane. They can have parallel systems to grant redundancy in the case of, for example, electromagnetic pulse weapons that disable electronics, or neurotoxins that disable organics. That gives me an idea for an EMP grenade with integrated nerve gas, grinned James. But it gives you an idea how durable a cyborg can get. Cyborgs are a lot more exciting than androids, said Jane. Agreed, said James. Best of both. Digitally telepathic, augmented reality and other mental advantages, in a body that can endure, feed, recover. That does sound intense, said Rachel. So why make me? If cyborgs can be like that, then why design a woman? Jane scoffed. Rachel, you are not just a woman. If you did a mind link replay of walking around in my body for a day, you'd quickly realize the difference. You're on a whole other level. Speed, power, agility, instinct. We labored over your genetic code for years, pushing your body to heights we never dreamt of. There were accidental breakthroughs, Rachel, said James. That's what she's saying. James, all the best discoveries made by accident, his sister replied. Some of the best discoveries, said James. Some of them are found by hard graft. Ultraviolet sight? I stole that from bees. All right, fair enough, said Jane. But Rachel, my brother and I have dedicated years of our lives at bringing forth an exemplar of human being into the world, you, and we've still barely scratched the surface. As great as you are so far, as great as Homo Semper is, we're just at the start. Yeah, said James. That's why we need to go into Reason's Edge. I take it you have an itinerary for me, said Rachel. Naturally, Laura smiled, shark-like once again. Firstly, there's the Gene Tasters Guild, she said. You'll get a dossier on them later. Now, we already have a spy who has access, Rachel. Her details will be in the dossier. Your first mission will be to accompany our spy as they go about their business. Chaperone detail. Got it, said Rachel. It should be a bit more fun than that, smiled Laura. Your second mission will be with the Church of Chaos, an affiliate of Ouroboros, Laura continued. You are to aid Agatha Serafina and Rosalind Bartley. They will introduce themselves when the time comes. But who are they? Said Rachel. Agatha Serafina is the head of the church, and a long-standing acquaintance of mine, Laura smiled. An old biohacker who got lucky, quite frankly. Didn't we all? Rosalind Bartley is younger and less familiar to me, but trusted by both Agatha and Sarah Palethorn, who you may remember as our very own Director of Interior. And yes, Rosalind is also heavily modified. I see. I'll get the rest firsthand then, said Rachel. Before you go, you should listen to what we have to tell you about Reason's Edge, said Laura. There are other corporations, other factions, and certain individuals of note. They all want something, and some of them, like us, are trying to change the world. Some of them are biohackers, said Jane. Those are the ones we're most interested in, because we want to know what they know, James finished. So, said Rachel, I take it these other biohackers are independents. In the beginning, said Laura, there were only biohackers. Nobody had even dreamt of Homo Semper yet, and instead they tinkered at the edges of Homo sapiens. They took the common human and tinkered with it. These were people, both brave and foolish, who altered their own genetic code, which, in adults, is extremely dangerous and invasive. A lot of the early pioneers died in some fairly creative ways, let's say. Laura sighed at the memory and then carried on. Some of the biohackers survived, more or less, while others thrived. It was a pure numbers game, taking luck. A lot of people experimented, and some of them were winners. The best grouped together, collaborated, and formed companies like this one, Ouroboros. I know that, said Rachel. Chimera is a splinter. Are there others? The biohacking scene is still thriving, said Laura. There are countless independent researchers, operating openly or in the criminal underworld. Your destiny lies in Reason's Edge. There are innumerable mutations out there, waiting to be discovered. And what should I do if I discover something? Bring the genetic code back to us, said Laura. We will add it to our codebase and experiment on it, perfect it. We'll figure out how to safely integrate it into your own genetic code. Remember, Laura insisted, if you try to absorb new abilities out there in the wild, you're liable to exhibit unforeseen consequences. Bring the genetic code back here, Rachel repeated. Wait, how would I absorb an ability out there? There are options, Laura said. Reason's Edge has many biohacking establishments. Some of them are reputable clinics, such as the Guild. Others, not so much. Either way, gene tasters dominate. A great deal of the scene, the real cutting edge, is underground like it's always been, and sometimes quite literally. Rivals. Laura took a fresh cup of coffee for herself. Jane was still cross-legged on her chosen desk, eating another donut and looking bright, while James simply smiled serenely at Rachel. We should also discuss that which lies outside of the biohacking scene, said Laura. Homo semper is not the only species vying to replace Homo sapiens. With the rise of artificial intelligence, androids and supercomputers present an alternative to flesh and blood. Can we tolerate such a thing? Replaced by machines, she raged. Are we really going to throw away our flesh at the moment we might redesign it? Now is not the end of flesh. It is just the beginning, the start of a new age of flesh. We, in masterful control of our bodies for the first time. But make no mistake, said Laura, calming down. Super AI is already here, already weighing the potential of androids against the old human. Old humans are toast, said Jane flippantly. Flesh must once again prove itself worthy, said Laura. That's where we come in, said James. We're the genetic engineers at the forefront of this fight, and you, Rachel, you're our champion. So, no pressure, said Rachel. Jane laughed. Well, we have a big advantage now. Forget the old Homo sapiens, said Laura. They're done. Relics. They're still super common, though, said Rachel. So what do we do with them? Nothing, said Laura. In the next few hundred years, Homo semper will naturally rise and overshadow Homo sapiens. There will simply be a gentle sunset for them, and a gentle dawn for us. And for the rich, we have transition technology to convert Homo sapiens into Homo semper. So, Rachel mused, are we all Homo semper, everyone in the room? Well, Jane said, looking nervously at her brother, I suppose so. Laura is the most different. She allowed herself to trail off, hoping Laura would fill in the blanks. We're all converted, Laura confirmed. Even the security guards upstairs. At Ouroboros, said James, even the lowest are converted to a basic Homo semper, with the standard package of health benefits. In addition, the mind link conditions all employees for loyalty as a matter of course, for security and reasons of investment in the employee. Plus, it's a great cure for depression, quipped Jane, grinning at James. Ageless and brainwashed, Rachel muttered. Happy staff or productive staff, smiled Laura. Also, Laura added, allow me to echo James's earlier sentiment. You, Rachel, are the champion of humanity, the envoy of flesh. Without you and us, said James, Earth might become a machine world, like some of the movies suggest. Judgment Day. Well, not on our watch. We're going to save the world for humans. Yes, Jane chimed in. Just more advanced ones. She smiled wickedly. And Rachel saw James mirror his sister's wicked smile, and then so did Laura. And Rachel couldn't help it either. It was like a shark pull in here. End of chapter 5.